The first rays of dawn gently filtered through the thin, white curtains, painting the room in shades of gold and soft amber. Emily stirred beneath the warm quilt, her eyelids fluttering open to greet the morning. The world outside seemed peaceful, but inside her heart, a storm of emotions brewed. Today was unlike any other day. It was a day filled with choices, anticipation, and the quiet, unspoken hope that life could change in an instant. She sat on the edge of her bed, feeling the cool wooden floor beneath her feet, and took a deep breath. The letters that had arrived over the past few weeks lay scattered on her desk, each one a small window into another world. The words on the delicate, ink-stained paper seemed alive, whispering promises and secrets only she could hear. Some letters spoke of adventure, others of love, some of mystery. Emily traced the edges of one envelope absent-mindedly, letting her fingers linger on the texture, as if touching it could somehow bring its contents to life. Her gaze drifted to the window. Beyond the glass, the city was awakening. The distant hum of traffic mixed with the soft chirping of early birds, creating a symphony of beginnings. She imagined herself stepping out into that world, leaving the familiar comfort of her apartment behind, and embracing the unknown. A shiver ran down her spine, not from fear alone, but from the exhilaration of possibility. The sun rose higher, casting long shadows that stretched across the room, and Emily felt a strange connection between the shifting light and the choices awaiting her. She stood and walked to the terrace, each step deliberate, grounding herself in the present while her mind wandered into the future. The cool morning air kissed her face, and she inhaled deeply, letting the scent of blooming flowers from the nearby gardens fill her senses. The city skyline, dotted with glass buildings reflecting the sunlight, seemed to shimmer like a promise of something grand, something beyond her current reality. In that moment, Emily felt both tiny and immense, like a single thread woven into the vast tapestry of life. Memories flooded her mind, days spent wandering through quiet streets, evenings sitting by the lakeside, conversations with friends that lingered long after they had ended. Each memory was a stepping stone leading her to this very moment, this turning point where choice and destiny intertwined. She remembered the laughter, the tears, the quiet moments of introspection, and the little victories that had brought her courage. Every experience, every encounter, had prepared her for what lay ahead. Her heart pounded with a mixture of excitement and anxiety, a rhythm that mirrored the pulse of the awakening city around her. Emily reached for her journal on the terrace table, its pages filled with sketches, notes, and dreams she had never voiced aloud. She opened to a blank page, the paper crisp and expectant. Slowly, she began to write, letting her thoughts flow freely. Words spilled onto the page, capturing her hopes, her fears, and the faint flicker of destiny calling her forward. With every sentence, she felt a sense of clarity emerging, as if the act of writing aligned her heart with her purpose. The pen moved almost instinctively, guided by an unseen hand, tracing the path she was meant to follow. As she wrote, the world seemed to pause around her. The breeze whispered through the leaves, carrying with it a melody of anticipation. Somewhere, a child's laughter echoed from a nearby courtyard, a dog barked playfully, and the distant city clock chimed softly. These sounds, mundane yet profound, reminded Emily of the beauty in everyday life, of the small joys that often go unnoticed. She realized that this journey she was about to embark upon was not just about grand adventures, but about embracing the ordinary and extraordinary with equal reverence. Hours passed unnoticed as Emily continued her reflections, sketching ideas, and letting her imagination wander. The sun climbed higher, its warmth now enveloping her completely. She felt a quiet resolve settle within her, a determination that whatever choice she made today, it would be wholehearted. The letters on the desk no longer seemed like mere invitations. They had become symbols of courage, curiosity, and the endless possibilities that awaited her. Emily closed her journal gently, a smile playing on her lips, and whispered to herself, "Today is the day everything begins." The city below hummed with life, unaware of the silent transformation occurring on the terrace above. Emily's heart beat steadily now, in sync with the rhythm of the morning. She knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, filled with moments of doubt and exhilaration, but she also understood that these challenges were necessary for growth, for discovering the depths of her own strength and resilience. And with that understanding, she stepped back into her apartment, ready to face whatever awaited her, carrying with her the quiet confidence that she was exactly where she was meant to be. The city lights faded behind Emily as she stepped out onto the narrow cobblestone streets, the early morning mist curling around her ankles like a whisper from another world. Each step she took resonated softly, echoing against the aged brick walls of the surrounding buildings. The air smelled of wet earth and distant flowers, mingling with the faint aroma of freshly baked bread from a corner bakery that had already begun its daily preparations. The world outside her apartment seemed alive in a way she had never noticed before. Every sound, every scent, every shifting shadow carried a story waiting to be discovered. Emily's thoughts raced as she walked. The letters she had read the night before replayed in her mind, each word a call to adventure, each signature a subtle reminder that life was filled with choices that required courage. She paused at the edge of a small bridge overlooking a gentle stream, the water reflecting the rising sun in fragmented patterns. The ripples seemed to dance in response to the breeze, and she couldn't help but feel as if the river itself was encouraging her to move forward. Her reflection on the water's surface was both familiar and strange. Emily saw herself, yet also glimpsed the person she could become if she embraced the unknown. As she continued down the winding streets, Emily noticed small details she had overlooked in the past: the intricate carvings on an old wooden door, the vibrant colors of a mural depicting a scene from a forgotten story, the way the morning light highlighted the uneven textures of the cobblestones. Each discovery sparked a sense of wonder within her, reminding her that even ordinary places held extraordinary stories. She felt a connection to the city, a sense that every alley, every corner, and every passerby contributed to a grand tapestry she was only beginning to understand. Passing by a quiet cafe, Emily paused as the scent of coffee and pastries filled the air. The soft murmur of early patrons and the clinking of cups created a rhythm that matched the heartbeat of the city. She imagined herself sitting at one of the small tables, pen in hand, documenting her experiences and reflections. The idea of capturing moments in words felt empowering. It was as if, by observing and recording, she could claim her place in the unfolding narrative of life. The cafe's windows reflected her silhouette, and for a moment, she considered the journey she had already embarked upon, the courage it had taken to step out of her comfort zone, the anticipation of what lay ahead, and the quiet excitement of self-discovery. Emily wandered further, drawn toward a small, hidden garden tucked between two buildings. The entrance was unassuming, a simple iron gate partially covered with ivy. She pushed it open and stepped into a world that seemed untouched by time. The garden was alive with colors and sounds, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle hum of bees, the distant chirping of birds high in the trees. Flowers of every hue swayed lightly in the breeze, and a small fountain burbled in the center, its clear water sparkling like liquid crystal. Emily felt a sense of peace wash over her, a moment of stillness in the midst of her restless thoughts. She walked along the winding paths, noticing the interplay of light and shadow, the delicate balance of nature thriving quietly in the heart of the city. Sitting on a stone bench beside the fountain, Emily pulled out her journal. She let her pen glide across the paper, capturing her impressions, her emotions, and the subtle lessons she felt stirring within her. The words came freely, almost effortlessly, as if the garden itself was guiding her hand. She reflected on her past experiences, the people who had shaped her, and the aspirations that propelled her forward. Each word, each sentence, was a small act of courage, a commitment to acknowledge her own growth and to embrace the unknown journey ahead. Hours passed unnoticed as Emily immersed herself in writing, sketching, and absorbing the serenity of the garden. The sun climbed higher, its warmth embracing her, filling her with a quiet determination. She realized that every choice she had made, Every risk she had taken had led her to this moment of clarity. The garden became more than just a physical space. It was a sanctuary of understanding, a place where past, present, and future intertwined seamlessly. Emily understood that life was not simply about the destinations reached, but about the awareness, mindfulness, and courage cultivated along the way. As the afternoon light softened and shadows lengthened, Emily stood and walked toward the garden's exit. The city beyond seemed both familiar and transformed, a reflection of her own evolving perspective. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet resolve to face challenges with patience, curiosity, and hope. The letters, the streets, the garden, they were all threads in the intricate fabric of her story, each one contributing to the person she was becoming. Emily's journey was far from over, but she now carried with her the understanding that life's true adventure lay not only in reaching the destination, but in embracing every step along the way with an open heart and an attentive mind. The evening approached, painting the city in shades of amber and rose, and Emily returned to her apartment with a heart full of reflection and anticipation. She glanced once more at the letters on her desk, realizing that they were more than paper and ink. They were invitations to live fully, to experience deeply, and to engage with the world with courage and compassion. Settling by the window, she watched the sun dip below the horizon, casting its golden glow over rooftops and alleyways. In that quiet moment, Emily felt the stirring of endless possibilities, a sense that her story was only beginning, and that every choice she made from this point forward would shape not only her own destiny, but the world she touched along the way. Emily awoke to the soft golden light of dawn streaming through her window, casting warm patterns across the wooden floor. The city outside was slowly coming to life, the distant hum of car engines and the gentle murmur of early risers creating a symphony of awakening. She stretched and took a deep breath, feeling the energy of a new day filling her lungs, reminding her that each day was a chance to explore, to learn, and to embrace the unfolding journey. Her thoughts wandered back to the hidden garden she had discovered the day before. She could still hear the gentle trickle of the fountain, feel the soft petals brushing against her fingers, and sense the peaceful harmony that had enveloped her there. Today, she decided, she would return, not just to revisit the garden, but to engage with it fully, to uncover the secrets it held and the wisdom it seemed eager to share. Emily dressed quickly, her mind racing with anticipation and curiosity, eager to step once more into the quiet magic of the city streets. As she wandered through the familiar alleys, Emily noticed subtle changes. The way the morning light highlighted textures she hadn't observed before, the new bloom of flowers on a windowsill, the fleeting smile of a passerby whose presence seemed to acknowledge her own journey. Each detail resonated deeply, reinforcing her belief that life's beauty often lay in the smallest, most overlooked moments. She paused at a corner cafe, inhaling the rich aroma of brewing coffee, and felt an inexplicable sense of belonging. The city was not just a backdrop to her adventures, it was a living, breathing companion, guiding her steps and reflecting her evolving self. Entering the garden, Emily was greeted by the familiar sounds and scents, the hum of bees weaving between flowers, the soft rustle of leaves in the morning breeze, and the gentle sparkle of sunlight on the fountain's water. But today, she noticed something different. The garden seemed more alive, more vibrant, as if it had been waiting for her return. A narrow path she hadn't explored before led her deeper into the heart of this hidden sanctuary. Curiosity ignited, she followed it, each step revealing new wonders, a delicate archway of entwined vines, a small pond with water lilies glistening like jewels, and a wooden bench carved with intricate patterns that seemed almost alive in the morning light. Sitting on the bench, Emily reflected on the journey that had brought her here. The letters, the streets, the quiet moments of introspection, they had all been pieces of a puzzle, guiding her towards self-discovery and courage. She opened her journal, letting her thoughts flow freely onto the pages. Words poured from her heart, documenting not just the external beauty she observed, but the internal transformation she felt taking place. She wrote about hope, resilience, and the subtle lessons life whispered to those willing to listen. Each sentence felt like a step forward, a declaration that she was actively participating in the creation of her own story. Time seemed to stretch as she explored the garden, moving from one discovery to the next. She observed how light and shadow danced across the cobblestones, how the scent of earth after rain mingled with the fragrance of blooming flowers, and how the gentle murmur of the stream harmonized with the quiet rhythm of her own breathing. Emily realized that this space was not merely a refuge, it was a teacher, offering lessons in patience, mindfulness, and the art of noticing life's subtle intricacies. Every stone, every leaf, and every ripple in the water became a metaphor for the journey of growth, reminding her that understanding comes slowly, through observation, reflection, and experience. As the sun rose higher, Emily encountered an elderly gardener tending to the plants. Their eyes met, and a silent understanding passed between them. She approached, and he offered her a small, worn key, explaining that it unlocked a hidden section of the garden reserved for those willing to seek, to observe, and to engage deeply with their surroundings. With a mix of awe and gratitude, Emily accepted the key, understanding that this was not merely a physical space she was being allowed into, but a symbol of the trust and potential she had cultivated within herself. Each step beyond the unlocked gate revealed corners of the garden she had never imagined, twisting paths, secret alcoves, and vibrant blooms thriving in unexpected places. Emily spent hours exploring this secret section, sketching, writing, and simply being present. She realized that life's lessons often came disguised in ordinary moments, waiting for those who chose to notice. She reflected on the interconnectedness of all things, the letters that had started her journey, the streets that had guided her steps, the quiet moments of introspection, and now the garden that mirrored her internal growth. Each element was a thread in the tapestry of her life, and she felt a profound sense of gratitude for the experiences that had shaped her and the possibilities that lay ahead. As evening approached, the garden glowed with a warm, golden hue. Emily returned to the main path, feeling a sense of completeness and serenity. She paused one last time, looking back at the hidden alcoves and shimmering fountains, committing the memory to her heart. Walking back through the city streets toward her apartment, she understood that her journey was not confined to this garden or to any one location. Life itself was a garden, filled with paths to explore, lessons to uncover, and moments to cherish. Emily's adventure had only just begun, but she carried within her the courage, mindfulness, and hope that would guide her through every step to come. As night fell and the city lights twinkled like distant stars, Emily settled by her window once more. She wrote in her journal, capturing the day's experiences and the insights gained. The letters remained on her desk, now symbols of the infinite possibilities life offered.